we'll be happy to answer live. Um, the first question we have from Cory is, how have emergency plans changed since the eruption for plugging production and injection wells and removing pentane?
Yes. Oh.
So
So we have we followed procedure during the whole event. We have changed a few items on our ERP, but as for plugging production and injection wells, removing pentane, it all stands as in play. We followed everything to the T. That's why we had such a safe shutdown and evacuation of the plant. And there was no need to change anything based off of that. We did change a few things on other things in the ERP, but not in relation to plugging and removing pentane. I can bang this. So,
read the question.
yeah, another question from Cory. If PGV goes bankrupt, who is responsible for safely shutting down the plant? Well, we're bonded. We have financial backing per law requirements, and we would handle it accordingly.
Yeah, I can add to that, Jordan. So DLNR requires that we have letter of credit and a bond to close off all the geothermal wells, and we also have a letter of credit with the U.S. EPA to decommission the wells safely.
So next one is from Cory. What are plans for hydrogen production? None at the time. Next question from Cory. Will PGV do enhanced geothermal, adding water to create steam? Nope, never have, and we do not intend to. Next question from, Cory again.
Let me see.
Why does PGV want so many new injection wells? Well, we haven't even done one yet. There. So do I have to reread the question?
Yeah, reread the question.
So this is also from Cory. Why does PGV want so many new injection wells? We haven't even drilled a new injection well yet. We do need one or two more injection wells. I don't know if that's so many, but we're looking at potentially one or two more in anticipation for our production.
Let me add to that. I think what Cory is alluding to also is a renewal of the UIC permit, which shows all of the potential new wells. And that's just a formality of the UIC, the underground injection control permit with the EPA. And it's just going through a process. We will only drill a new injection well when it's needed. We're not going to drill every well that we have on the application.
I wish we could afford to drill, but
no. Yeah, here's another one from the next question from Cory. Does PGV need permits for injection wells, i.e. five existing?
No, that was the old one.
No, we just answered the other one, which is...
No, but this one we answered too earlier. This is the next one right here. This one we answered already.
We didn't. She asked why we had
so
many wells. This is different. Yeah, she's asking about permits. So Cory's asking, why does PGV need permits for the injection wells before opening? And our response is that we have all the permits necessary to restart the facility. We, however, are going through a renewal for the injection wells with the EPA.
But that one we answered earlier. So yeah, 406. We just never probably minus them.
Okay. Okay, thank you again, Cory. On the next question. Some studies that PGV gave EPA for the injection well permit were 30 years old. Does PGV think they are still relevant despite eruption impacts? That's the question. We're not certain exactly which studies you are referring to, but if you could point that out, that would be helpful. this one.
What chemical? Okay, so again, Cory, what chemicals will be in injectate water and in what amounts? That we have on our
UIC.
UIC permit and also with our DOH.
Underground injection control.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like oxygen scavenger and corrosion inhibitors, right?
Yeah, that's the main.
To protect the mechanical integrity of the steel and prevent rust and that sort of thing.
And so it also depends on what kind of flow we have when you're asking in amounts. You can go to the DOH and they have that information of what we're injecting. So that is available for public knowledge.
Okay, I get this one. Okay, thank you, Cory. And this question goes, how much water will be injected per day when all injection wells are working? If we use the example prior to the eruption, we were re-injecting about 3,000 gallons per minute or so.
It was in the previous resource was equivalent to about 100 GPM per megawatt. Yeah.
So, but we anticipate it'll be not more than that. It'll be less.
However much comes out of the ground.
Steam. Yeah. Okay, and there's a second part to that question. What evaluation has been done regarding risks to drinking water? Very good question. Some years ago, the county in the previous administration actually hired Peter Adler, and a working group was put together, mostly from folks from the Puna district. And one of the studies that was performed was the effects of geothermal reinjection over the past 20 years by scientists from USGS office out of Menlo Park, California. And in general, the summary of that report results that there was no effect from the reinjection of the geothermal fluids at PGV for the past 20 years from the time that the study was performed. And copies of that, I would imagine, are available from the county research and development department.
Not to mention the injection wells are designed.
Oh, no, but we asked the question. Okay. Cory, the question is, don't you need permits for all injection wells before restarting? And the answer is yes, we do need permits. And yes, we do have permits that are active and in full force.
I got him.
You like this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is from Paul Kuykendall. What are you doing to mitigate noise from drilling, and what will you do to mitigate production noise? Well, when we drill, we put up external sound blankets to help with mitigation of noise. Also on the production side, we have sound walls. And we do anticipate in case we do have any other issues, like with designing of new equipment, of course, putting in more noise mitigating equipment as much as possible.
Right, and I would add, didn't you also hire an acoustical engineer?
Yeah.
Noise survey, and then based on his.
So we did hire to do a baseline, to do one with drilling, and when we do get back to full production, we'll do another sound survey.
And we constantly measure sound.
We also are constantly monitoring with the noise monitoring stations also 24/7.
Right. Thank you. Okay, from Luana Jones, where is KS18 located? KS18 is right to the east of well pad E, which is right next to KS14. And is that what we have been hearing this past week?
I mean, we have 2 drill rigs running in parallel. So I mean, it could have been something. But we've been running a drill rig 24/7 for the last almost year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you heard anything more. Maybe the wind has changed a little bit more this last week. I don't know if the wind direction changed, perhaps, if you heard it a little bit more.
But 18 is done for now.
Yeah, 18 work has been completed, and currently just working on 17 at this time right now. But yeah, we've been drilling pretty much the whole year.
Okay, thank you, Jordan. Our next question. So this is from Cory. And she says, studies are in Paul Kuykendall's injection well comments. Okay, we'll look for Paul's comments. And here's Paul.
I answered that already
The volume of
in
fluid.
Cory's. It's depend.
Yeah. So whatever comes up from the INA goes back into the INA. So in the past, it's been about 3,000 gallons per minute, and we don't anticipate anything higher than that when we restart. Okay, next question from Paul. Your application wells refers to geological studies that are 30 years old as evidence of how geothermals interact with groundwater. How is that relevant after the lava flow? Well, we do not anticipate the geology to be any different than when we originally started operations here in 1991. And we're basing that on the preliminary data that we have received from our new wells and the reworking of our existing production wells. I got this. Yeah, so Cory's question is, hearing on injection wells is not till October 7th. And that is for the EPA underground injection control renewal process. Thank you, Cory. Can we get sound server? We can share it
Well,
next time.
they can view the monitors.
This is from Paul Kuykendall. So the question is, can we get a copy of the sound survey? And we are planning, once we start up, for our acoustical engineer to do another round of noise surveys, and he will put together a summary of the before, the during, and the after, and that report will be made public. Then the second part of Paul's question states, do we have access to the noise and H2S monitors? And the answer is yes. If you went to our website, there's a link that goes to the monitoring stations. So it is available, like it has been even before the eruption.
Yeah, 24/7. It's always been available.
So there's noise,
H2S,
H2S,
SO2, wind direction.
wind direction. Okay. Luana. Okay.
Answer that. So Luana Jones, during drilling, we used to hear pipes clanging and revving. Lately, it sounds like a circular scrubbing here in Nanavali. What's that sound related to?
There's nothing in particular that we are aware of that would generate a circular scrubbing noise.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty good description. However, I don't know what a circular scrubbing noise would be, but I mean, as for maybe a winding, or I don't know, it could be motors maybe revving up, you know, when they drill, generators perhaps.
And from time to time, we do have pipes clanging. From Nanavali, that's on the other side of the big river.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, it makes a big difference on wind direction. You know, if we get south winds, then of course you would carry sound more towards Nanavali from the south. That may be times when you hear it more than others, perhaps. similar for Paul Kuykendall. We've been hearing your drilling for the past year, loud in the middle of the night. Yours noise blankets aren't working. What else can you do? Well, I mean, we've put up noise blankets, which is above and beyond. Based off of our noise survey, we are way within our noise permits. I mean, we always try to go above and beyond. We are looking into any other type of noise mitigation. So just to let you know, like example, we had even a water well that we had to use that was just a motor hum. We actually built up a wood wall, and it was only like, a 12-foot tall by, I don't know, 20, 30 feet long. But, we did it above and beyond to try to mitigate the noise. It is important to us to do our best, even though we are meeting our permit by far. But, we understand we want to try to be the best neighbors we can. There is some noise that, some stuff we can't mitigate. We will try to look into further ways to put up something. Maybe I can look for taller or more thicker noise blankets, perhaps. Yeah. But we will look into it a little bit more and see if we can do anything more on that to go above and beyond what we need to, but we would like to.
Okay. Thank you, Jordan. The next question, I got this. So this is from Cory, and her question is, so you will start up with expired injection well permits, ? So, Cory, our permits are all valid and active. The process that we're going through is the renewal process for the underground injection permit with the EPA. This is a process that we do every 10 years, but until such time that a decision is made by the EPA on the renewal application, our permits are active. So we will start up with permits that are active and in full force. Okay, another question from Cory, and her question is, do you have a waiver from competitive bidding?
For what?
And I would presume maybe you're referring to repowering. And so a waiver, we do not have a waiver from competitive bidding.
I mean, we look for competitive bidding.
Yeah, well, this is a PUC requirement.
Yeah. I mean, automatic usually.
So, anybody got any questions for Hawaiian Electric or for the county? Kuykendall, and he says, your noise and H2S website doesn't show location of samplers, and it says that live data is under testing and you can view historical data. When will we be able to see the actual data? The actual data is online at the websites. So what you're seeing there is actual data. As far as the location, I believe that, well, DOH has that and we can share that, but we can do the location part. Okay, we have a question from Luana Jones, thank you. And the question is, have you done a new environmental assessment or environmental impact study after the lava devastation? Don't you think it would be wise? So we have not performed an EA or EIS post the lava eruption. We have looked into it in great detail, and our position at this time is that we will not be doing one.
So Cory asked, when do you start sending power out? So I answered that earlier in my update, whereas with the completion of KS18 at the ending of the month is when we would be able to start up the plant at the earliest. So we're looking at the ending of the month, hopefully, that we can send out power and help you guys out with some of your power needs with your Helco bill.